Dr. Kara Flynn stepped off the shuttle onto the rocky terrain of Zathar 9, her boots crunching on the sharp, reddish soil. The alien preserve stretched before her, a wild, untamed landscape of jagged cliffs, dense forests of strange luminescent plants, and winding rivers that shimmered in pale blue light. She carried her medical kit carefully, knowing that today's patient was unlike any she had ever treated. Reports described the creature as massive, nearly twice the height of a human, with dark, scaly armor covering its body and long, sharp claws. Its eyes glowed like molten amber, filled with pain and fear. Local alien veterinarians had attempted to treat it but failed. Thrax, as it was called, refused help and lashed out violently at anyone who approached. Kara had been told to stay cautious. Many had been injured trying to get near it. She approached the perimeter of the clearing where Thrax had been seen last, moving slowly and deliberately. She crouched slightly to appear less threatening, her voice calm as she whispered to herself, "Easy, buddy, easy." The wind carried her words, soft but steady, across the open space. A shadow moved among the rocks. Kara froze, her pulse quickening. Thrax emerged, larger than she expected, its scales reflecting the light, claws scraping the ground and eyes fixed on her. The creature growled, a deep rumble that vibrated through the air. Kara held her hand steady, not reaching for any tools. She knew sudden movements could provoke an attack. Instead, she spoke softly again, repeating, "Easy, buddy. I'm not here to hurt you." Thrax lowered its head slightly, nostrils flaring, measuring her. It hissed and swiped its massive claws through the soil, sending small rocks tumbling. Kara's training kicked in. She stayed calm, knowing that the alien vets had failed because they approached with force, fear, or loud equipment. This creature needed patience, not power. Slowly, Kara set down her kit a few meters away. She knelt, making herself smaller, careful to keep her movements smooth and deliberate. Thrax shifted slightly, growling low but not charging. Kara took a deep breath, observing the creature's injuries. Its left foreleg was twisted awkwardly, scales cracked, and blood seeped through the gaps. Kara's heart ached at the sight, but she remained focused. Panic or fear would only make it worse. She moved her fingers gently over a small rock, tossing it softly a short distance. Thrax's head followed the motion, tracking her without moving closer. Kara repeated the gesture a few times, catching its attention without making sudden movements. The creature's eyes narrowed, curious but cautious. It hissed again, a warning, yet it didn't lunge. "Good. That's it," Kara whispered. She spoke as though Thrax could understand every word. The locals had laughed at her approach, calling it foolish. But Kara believed in the power of calmness, empathy, and subtle communication. She had seen it work before with less dangerous species, and she hoped it could work here. Time passed slowly. Kara observed Thrax from a safe distance, noting its patterns. When it shifted, she shifted. When it growled, she paused. She allowed the creature to dictate the pace, never forcing her presence, only offering it as a gentle option. Slowly, Thrax's body relaxed slightly, though its eyes never left her. Kara could feel the tension in the air, thick and heavy, but it was no longer outright hostility, it was cautious vigilance. The alien vets had failed because they had tried to force treatment. Kara knew she had to build trust first, step by step, moment by moment. She crouched lower, her voice soft, repeating her mantra, "Easy, buddy, easy." Thrax shifted its weight, lowering its head slightly. It sniffed the air, nostrils flaring, testing her scent. Kara stayed completely still, letting it take its time. After what felt like hours, Thrax slowly inched closer to her kit, eyes flicking between her and the supplies. Kara whispered again, soft and firm, "Easy, nothing to hurt you." The creature paused, then nudged the edge of her medical kit with its snout. Kara exhaled slowly, not wanting to startle it. She smiled softly, knowing this was the first sign of acceptance. Kara remained kneeling, careful not to make sudden movements. She studied Thrax's injuries, realizing that if she could gain its trust, she could treat it without violence or fear. Every twitch of a tail, every flick of an ear, every soft hiss was communication. She responded with gentle murmurs and small gestures, learning its language in subtle ways. As the twin suns began to dip toward the horizon, casting long, jagged shadows across the preserve, Kara stayed with Thrax. The creature no longer growled aggressively, though it remained watchful. Kara whispered again, "Easy, buddy. I've got you." For the first time, she sensed a fragile connection, a mutual recognition that fear alone would not govern their interaction. She knew the real challenge had only just begun. The injury was severe, the terrain dangerous, and Thrax was still powerful enough to crush her with a single swipe. But Kara also knew something important. Courage, patience and empathy could achieve what brute force and fear could not. As the night fell over Zathar 9, Thrax lay near her kit, restless but no longer attacking. Kara kept her position, soft and calm, whispering in low tones, "Easy buddy, easy." For the first time, the human vet and the alien beast had begun to understand one another. It was a small step, but in that step lay the beginning of something extraordinary, a bond that might heal more than just the creature's body. Kara leaned back slightly against a rock, exhausted but alert. She watched the glowing eyes of Thrax, seeing both fear and pain, but also curiosity and the first hint of trust. She knew tomorrow would bring the next step in this delicate dance between human and alien. But tonight, as she whispered softly to the massive, scaly beast, she felt the first glimmer of hope. "Easy, buddy," she murmured one last time as the stars appeared above the rugged horizon. And Thrax, for the first time, stayed calm enough to listen. Dr. Kara Flynn woke early, the twin sons of Zathar 9 casting a pale light over the jagged cliffs. Thrax, the massive scaly creature she had observed yesterday, lay nearby, restless but no longer aggressive. Kara knew today would be the day she had to try a closer approach. The creature's injuries were severe, and waiting too long could worsen its condition. She adjusted her medical pack and checked her equipment. Everything was ready, but she didn't reach for any tools yet. She knew that the real challenge was not the medicine. It was gaining the trust of a creature that had attacked every alien vet who tried to help. Kara whispered softly to herself, "Easy buddy, just easy." She stepped carefully across the rocky terrain, crouching low to appear smaller. Every movement was slow and deliberate. She spoke in low tones, almost a murmur, letting her voice float through the cool morning air. Thrax's glowing eyes followed her, ears flicking, tail twitching. The creature growled softly, warning her to keep her distance. Kara stopped immediately and waited, keeping her hands visible and relaxed. After several minutes, she inched forward a few more steps, keeping her gaze calm and steady. Thrax shifted its weight but did not charge. Kara noticed that the creature's breathing was uneven, a sign of pain. She spoke again, softer this time, "Easy? I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to help." The words seemed to float over the rocks, and the growl from Thrax softened slightly. Kara crouched lower, setting her pack down a few meters away. She slowly removed a small ration of food, placing it on a flat rock. She didn't move closer yet. Instead, she let the creature see her actions, showing that she was calm, deliberate, and safe. Thrax's eyes narrowed, curious but still wary. It inched forward, sniffing the food, but kept its distance from her. The human vet took a deep breath. She knew this was the moment to test patience. She stayed still, kneeling low, her hands resting on her knees. Thrax circled the food, sniffing, then looked back at Kara. She whispered again, "Easy buddy, you're safe." The creature growled softly, but it no longer lunged or hissed aggressively. Kara began to learn the subtle language of Thrax. The flick of an ear, the twitch of its tail, the angle of its head, all signals she had to read carefully. Slowly, she extended a hand toward the food, keeping it low and steady. Thrax hesitated, then sniffed her hand but did not bite. Kara held her breath and remained motionless, letting it decide. Minutes passed. Thrax took a tentative bite of the food, its glowing eyes never leaving Kara. She whispered softly, praising it, "Good. That's it. Easy buddy." The creature responded with a small, low rumble, a sound Kara interpreted as recognition. It was the first real sign that her calm human approach was working. Encouraged, Kara began to inch closer, always keeping her body low and movements smooth. Thrax shifted back slightly, testing her. She stopped and whispered again, "Easy, nothing to hurt you." Slowly, she reached out a finger, letting it touch the edge of her hand. Thrax sniffed it carefully, then pulled back. Kara remained still, letting the creature set the pace. Over the next few hours, Kara moved closer in small increments, always speaking softly, offering food and observing Thrax's responses. The alien vets had failed because they had tried to force treatment or used loud equipment. Kara realized that human patience, empathy, and subtle communication could achieve what fear and strength could not. At one point, Thrax stumbled slightly, its injured leg shaking. Kara froze, then whispered in a soothing voice, "Easy, easy, buddy." She stayed calm, showing no fear. Thrax flinched but did not lash out. Slowly, it regained balance, and Kara offered a hand at a safe distance. Thrax sniffed, hesitated, then let her hand hover over its massive foreleg. Kara did not touch it yet, she only showed willingness and calmness. By late afternoon, the creature had allowed her to move closer than any alien vet had before. Thrax circled her cautiously but did not attack. Kara could feel the tension in the air easing slightly. She spoke in soft tones, "Good, easy, just easy." The creature rumbled in response, a low, almost approving sound. Kara smiled. She knew that mutual understanding was beginning to form. As the twin suns began to set, casting long shadows across the jagged rocks, Kara stayed kneeling watching Thrax. The creature's breathing had slowed, its glowing eyes now calm but alert. Kara whispered, "Tomorrow we'll take another step, buddy, we'll do this together." Thrax shifted slightly, nudging the edge of her pack with its snout, signaling recognition and tentative trust. For Kara, the human approach had worked. She had shown calm, patience and courage, earning a small but crucial bond with the alien beast. The day ended with her sitting beside the massive creature, whispering softly, growling gently in imitation of its rumbles, a language of trust forming between human and alien. Night fell over Zathar 9, and Kara remained vigilant. Thrax lay near her, no longer aggressive yet still cautious. The first part of their connection was complete, but tomorrow promised an even greater challenge, earning enough trust to treat the injury without causing fear or panic. Kara whispered once more, softly and steadily, "Easy, buddy. I'm here. I've got you." And for the first time, the massive alien creature seemed to understand. It stayed still, listening to the soft human voice, a fragile bond forming in the quiet alien night. The morning light of Zathar 9 filtered softly through the jagged rocks as Dr. Kara Flynn rose and stretched. Thrax, the massive scaly creature, was already awake, pacing slowly in the clearing. Its amber eyes followed her every movement. Yesterday had been a test, and today would be harder. Kara knew that healing Thrax required not only courage but patience, understanding and trust. She packed her small medical supplies carefully, making sure nothing rattled or clinked. She didn't want to startle Thrax. Every human movement had to be deliberate, calm and predictable. Kara whispered softly as she approached, "Easy, buddy, easy." The creature paused mid-step, ears twitching, and let her come a few meters closer. Kara began by observing Thrax carefully. Its breathing was shallow, uneven. Its injured foreleg trembled when it shifted weight. Kara knew she could not force any treatment. The alien vets had failed because they tried to grab or restrain the creature, and Thrax had reacted violently. Kara had to earn its trust first. She set down a small tray of food and water a short distance away, kneeling low to remain non-threatening. Thrax sniffed the air, eyeing her cautiously. It circled the supplies once, then looked back at Kara. She stayed completely still, letting the creature decide when to eat. Slowly, it lowered its massive head and began to eat, keeping a wary eye on her. Kara whispered softly, praising it, "Good, good buddy." Hours passed like this, with Kara observing every movement. She learned the subtle signs of Thrax's moods, the flick of its tail, the angle of its head, the tension in its shoulders. She mirrored its behavior in gentle ways, growling softly and moving slowly to show she was calm. Gradually, Thrax responded, its growls softening and its body relaxing. At one point, Thrax stumbled over a jagged rock, its injured leg shaking violently. Kara froze, then whispered, "Easy, buddy, easy." She moved closer in slow, careful steps, keeping her voice soft and her movements predictable. Thrax flinched but did not lash out. It seemed to sense her calmness and hesitated instead of attacking. Kara held her ground, steady and patient, until Thrax regained balance. Later, Kara noticed Thrax testing her with small gestures, sniffing her hand from a safe distance, nudging rocks near her, shifting closer and then away. Kara responded in kind, speaking softly and keeping her hands visible. She never forced contact, only offered presence and calm. Over time, the creature's curiosity grew, and its aggression faded. By mid-afternoon, Kara could move slightly closer than the previous day. She held out her hand at a safe distance, letting Thrax sniff it. The creature hesitated, then touched her fingers lightly with its snout. Kara stayed still, murmuring softly, "Good, easy, buddy." The rumble that escaped Thrax's throat was quieter than before, almost approving. Kara smiled. The bond was growing. Thrax began following her cues more consistently. When she gestured toward water or food, it moved accordingly. When she whispered softly, it lowered its head and stopped pacing. Kara realized that the creature was learning to trust her, recognizing her voice and movements as safe. She had learned its rhythms and it had begun to accept hers. As the twin suns climbed higher, a sudden noise from the forest startled Thrax. Its body tensed, muscles rippling under thick scales. Kara froze as well, knowing that sudden movement could provoke an attack. she whispered. Easy? I've got you. Thrax paused, then slowly turned back toward her. The trust was fragile, but it held. Kara spent the next several hours reinforcing this trust. She offered food, moved carefully around Thrax, and mirrored its behavior in soft growls and gentle gestures. Each interaction built the fragile bond, showing the creature that humans could be allies rather than threats. By evening, Thrax allowed her to approach within a few meters, its massive eyes calm but alert, body tense but no longer aggressive. As the sun began to set, Kara knelt near the injured leg, careful not to touch it yet. Thrax circled her once, sniffing the ground, then lay down nearby, keeping her in view. Kara whispered, Good buddy? We'll go slow. For the first time, the massive alien creature allowed her presence without lashing out. That night, Kara set up a small camp near Thrax. She stayed alert but calm, speaking softly, growling gently in imitation of Thrax's low rumbles. The creature lay near her, restless but no longer fearful. Kara realized that building trust had been the hardest part of the healing process. Strength and technology alone could not have achieved this. Patience, empathy, and courage had bridged the gap between species. Before sleeping, Kara murmured, "Tomorrow we'll take another step, buddy, together." Thrax shifted slightly, nuzzling the edge of her pack. The gesture was small, but Kara understood its meaning. The trust between them had grown deeper. For Kara, the day had been a success. Thrax had tested her patience, her courage, and her understanding, and she had responded with calm, intelligence, and empathy. The bond was fragile but forming, built on mutual recognition and respect. Kara knew the next step, healing the injury, would be even more challenging. But she was ready. She had learned that human ingenuity and gentle courage could achieve what no alien technology or force could. As she drifted to sleep under the alien stars, Kara felt a quiet confidence. The trust she had built today would be the foundation for the next phase of healing. Thrax lay near her, eyes glowing softly in the darkness, a silent acknowledgement that the human vet had begun to bridge the gap between species. And in that quiet alien night, Kara whispered once more, softly and steadily, "Easy, buddy. I've got you." For the first time, Thrax seemed to truly believe it. The sun rose slowly over Zathar 9, casting a warm glow across the jagged cliffs and glowing plants. Dr. Kara Flynn stood quietly, her medical pack beside her. Thrax, the massive scaly creature, was already awake, pacing slowly but calm. Over the past days, Kara had built trust with it, and today she would take the biggest step, touching the injury and beginning treatment. Her pulse raced, but she remained calm. She knew fear could ruin everything. Kara crouched low, speaking softly, "Easy, buddy, easy." Thrax's glowing eyes followed her every movement, tail flicking cautiously. She inched forward slowly, keeping her hands visible and steady. The creature growled low, but it did not move away. Kara could feel the tension in the air, thick and heavy but different from before. Now it was wary, not hostile. She carefully opened her medical kit, placing it on the ground near Thrax. The creature sniffed it from a distance but stayed still. Kara whispered, "It's okay, nothing to fear." She pulled out a small bandage and antiseptic, showing them without making sudden movements. Thrax's amber eyes followed every motion, and she knew that one wrong gesture could provoke panic. Kara moved a few steps closer, kneeling near the creature's injured foreleg. She held her hand steady, palm open and low. "Easy. I've got you," she murmured. Thrax flinched slightly but remained in place. Kara's heart pounded, but she forced herself to stay calm and gentle. She slowly touched the edge of its scales near the wound, letting Thrax feel her presence without pressure. The creature's eyes narrowed, scanning her, testing her intentions. Kara whispered softly, "Good, you're safe, easy, buddy." She worked in small, careful movements, allowing Thrax to control the pace. Every flick of the tail, every twitch of the ear, Kara read carefully, adjusting her actions. She did not rush. She let the creature decide how much it could tolerate. Thrax lowered its massive head slightly, and Kara saw a small sign of acceptance. She began cleaning the wound gently with antiseptic, moving her hands slowly over the scales. The creature shifted but did not attack. Kara murmured softly, "Easy, just easy, good buddy." She felt the warmth of its body, the slow rise and fall of its breathing, and knew it was beginning to trust her completely. Hours passed as Kara worked steadily, treating the injury with patience and care. She spoke softly, keeping her voice low and calm, growling occasionally in imitation of Thrax's own low rumbles. The creature responded subtly, relaxing slightly with each careful touch. Kara could see the difference in its stance. muscles less tense, breathing steadier, eyes calmer. At one point, the creature shifted unexpectedly, testing her patience. Kara froze, whispering, "Easy? I'm here, it's okay." Thrax hesitated, then allowed her to continue. The small victories encouraged her. She realized that human empathy, calmness, and intelligence were stronger than fear or brute force. Thrax was responding not to tools or technology, but to her courage and gentle persistence. Finally, Kara reached the point where she could bandage the wound. She prepared the bandage carefully, holding it low so it could see her movements. Thrax sniffed the material and growled softly, a warning. Kara whispered, "Easy, easy buddy, nothing to hurt you." Slowly, she pressed the bandage against the injured leg. The creature flinched, then settled, allowing her to wrap it with careful precision. When the task was complete, Kara sat back slightly, letting Thrax sniff and examine her hands. The creature gave a low, approving rumble and nudged her gently with its massive snout. Kara smiled, feeling a surge of pride and relief. She had done what no alien vet had managed. She had gained full trust and begun healing. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the preserve. Kara stayed with Thrax, monitoring it closely. She fed it some rations, speaking softly all the while. The creature accepted the food, keeping close to her side. Kara realized that the bond was no longer fragile. It was real. Trust, patience, and courage had bridged the gap between human and alien. Later, Kara allowed Thrax to rest while she packed up the supplies. The creature remained nearby, calm and watchful, its glowing eyes softening as it observed her. Kara whispered, "Good buddy, you did well today." Thrax responded with a low rumble, nuzzling the edge of her pack. It was a quiet but powerful acknowledgement of their growing connection. As night fell, Kara set up a small camp near Thrax. She kept her movements slow and deliberate, speaking in low tones. The creature lay nearby, no longer tense, its breathing steady. Kara reflected on the day's success. The injury had been treated, and the bond had deepened. She had shown that human intelligence, empathy, and patience could achieve what technology or brute force could not. Before sleeping, Kara murmured, "Tomorrow we will continue, buddy, together." Thrax shifted slightly, nudging her gently with its massive head, a gesture of trust and acceptance. Kara smiled, knowing that the healing was more than physical. It was emotional, a bridge between species built on respect and courage. Under the alien stars, Kara drifted to sleep, feeling a quiet confidence. She had faced fear, danger, and uncertainty, and had prevailed not by force, but by understanding and patience. Thrax lay near her, calm and alert, the first true bond between human and alien predators solidified. And in that quiet night, Kara whispered softly one last time, "Easy buddy, I've got you." Thrax rumbled low in response, a sound of trust, a promise that the human had earned its respect and cooperation. The healing touch had worked, not just on the wound but on the bond between two very different species. The sun rose over the jagged cliffs of Zathar 9, painting the rocky landscape in warm gold. Dr. Kara Flynn sat quietly beside Thrax, the massive alien creature whose injured leg she had treated over the past days. Thrax lay calmly now, eyes glowing softly, the trust between them solid and unbroken. Kara could feel the bond they had built, a connection that went beyond words or species. Today she knew would mark a new beginning. Kara packed her supplies slowly, careful not to startle Thrax. She whispered softly, "Easy buddy, we're ready." The creature nudged her gently with its massive snout, a quiet acknowledgement of their trust. Kara smiled, realizing that their relationship had changed. Thrax was no longer a wild, fearful predator. It had become a companion and protector. They moved together across the rocky terrain, Kara leading carefully, Thrax following close behind. The locals had watched skeptically at first, doubting that a human could gain the trust of such a powerful alien. But Kara had proven that patience, empathy, and intelligence could overcome instinctive fear and aggression. Thrax's calm presence now spoke volumes. As they approached the edge of a high plateau, Kara noticed a group of smaller alien creatures, similar to Thrax but younger, playing near the cliff's edge. Thrax growled softly, protective and alert. Kara understood immediately. The creature was now not just a patient but a guardian. Its instincts, once defensive and fearful, had shifted to protectiveness. She whispered, "Good buddy, easy," and the growl softened, Thrax acknowledging her guidance. Kara observed the young aliens from a distance, learning their behavior. She realized that her human intelligence could now complement Thrax's natural instincts. By working together, they could ensure the safety of the younger creatures and maintain balance in this fragile ecosystem. Kara felt a sense of pride. Humanity could contribute not just technology, but understanding and cooperation across species. Suddenly, a distant rumble echoed across the canyon. Kara tensed, knowing it could mean danger, a predator or rival creature entering their territory. Thrax stood immediately, massive body tense and ready, but Kara raised a hand and spoke softly, "Easy? I've got this with you." Thrax lowered its stance slightly, recognizing her voice and calmness. Together they moved toward the sound, careful and deliberate. They arrived at the edge of the plateau to find a group of aggressive predators from a neighboring territory. The younger aliens were frightened, and Thrax's protective instincts flared. Kara took a deep breath and spoke softly, "Easy, buddy, we'll handle this together." Thrax growled but calmly, matching her tone. Kara knew that the key was coordination, human intelligence paired with alien strength and instinct. She gestured slowly, directing Thrax and the young aliens to form a defensive position. Thrax obeyed immediately, its massive body shielding the younger creatures. Kara's careful movements, her calm voice, and her understanding of predator behavior allowed them to stand firm without violence. The rival predators assessed the situation, growling but hesitant. They had not expected such coordination between human and alien. Minutes passed in tense silence. Kara kept her movements deliberate and slow, monitoring both Thrax and the rival predators. The younger aliens watched closely, learning from both Kara and Thrax. Then, slowly, the rival predators retreated, realizing that this alliance was stronger and wiser than they had anticipated. Kara exhaled, her pulse steadying. The threat had passed, and the guardianship of Thrax, guided by human insight, had prevailed. After the danger subsided, Kara knelt beside Thrax, running her hand gently over its scales. The creature rumbled softly, nudging her hand with its snout. Kara smiled, whispering, "Good buddy, we did it." She realized that Thrax was now a true guardian, not only of the younger aliens but of the partnership they had formed with her. Humanity had shown that courage, patience and empathy could create bonds that even instinctive fear could not break. Over the next hours, Kara observed Thrax interacting with the younger aliens. The massive creature moved with patience and care, teaching them through gentle nudges, growls and guidance. Kara mirrored these actions, showing the young aliens that she too could be trusted. Together, human and alien had become teachers, protectors and allies. As the twin suns dipped toward the horizon, Kara set up a small camp with Thrax lying nearby. The younger aliens gathered close, safe within the circle of trust. Kara whispered softly, growling gently in imitation of Thrax's low rumbles. The creatures responded, a chorus of recognition and trust echoing across the rocky cliffs. Kara felt a profound sense of accomplishment. What had begun as fear and hostility had grown into mutual respect and guardianship. Night fell over Zathar 9, and the stars sparkled above the jagged cliffs. Kara looked at Thrax and the younger aliens, knowing that the bond they shared would last far beyond this moment. The human vet had become part of something greater, a partnership between species, built on courage, patience and understanding. Thrax, once a fearful and injured creature, had become a guardian and ally. Kara whispered one last time before resting, "Tomorrow we continue, together." Thrax rumbled softly in reply, nudging her hand with gentle force. She knew that the creature understood. She was no longer just a caretaker but a partner in protection. Humanity had earned respect, not through strength or technology, but through empathy, courage and intelligence. As Kara drifted to sleep beneath the alien stars, Thrax settled beside her, calm and vigilant. The younger aliens nestled nearby, safe under the watch of their new guardian. Kara realized that the true healing had not been just of the injury, but of trust, understanding and partnership. She had forged an alliance that spanned species, showing that humans could teach, protect and inspire even the fiercest of alien creatures. In the quiet night, Kara whispered softly, "Easy, buddy. I've got you." Thrax responded with a low rumble, the sound of trust, respect and a bond that would endure. Together, human and alien had become guardians of life on Zathar 9, a symbol of courage, empathy and cooperation that could change the way species interacted across the galaxy.